Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make a purchase with the smart contract and how to lower your gas prices, your transaction fees. I'm going to show you the simple way to do it and then a more advanced way to do it. Again, gas prices are transaction fees. And you can lower this significantly if you do what I'm about to show you. But if you make a mistake or you do it wrong, you can end up paying a lot in gas and not having the transaction go through. So follow very carefully. Now, before I go in here, I just want to say, if you're watching this, you should have already either gotten to the point where you followed the previous videos we've given you and you're about ready to purchase. You've already kind of gotten through and you don't see what I see right now on my screen. You see like your MetaMask is open and you're ready to lower your gas prices and you need the next step. And someone gave you this video for this next step to lower your gas fees before you finish that purchase, before you hit confirm. Or you've already gotten in and you've already signed up and you're already in Forsage and you're going back to upgrade to the next level. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Now, you may not need to do this right now. I'm just going to go to where you should be at. And I'm going to sign in. But you should already be signed in by the time you're watching this video. Again, I'm going to where you would be. So I'm obviously already in. This is just one of my family accounts. I'm going to go here and hit activate. So some of you might be doing that as well, or just did it where you hit activate on one of the positions, or one of you is signing up for the first time and you're not going to need to do this at this point. But I'm going to get to the same place you are right now before you confirm to purchase. And I'm going to show you how to lower your gas fees. So you should see something like this. This is where I'm trying to get you. In the upper right-hand corner of my screen, you see, you might see different prices and stuff. You might see a different gas fee, but you should have MetaMask. And by the way, this video is only for those of you who have MetaMask. Now, if you use a different Ethereum wallet, you might be able to figure it out, but the steps would be different. The concept's the same, but I really am just showing this for those of you who use MetaMask. I like to show what I use. And I encourage people to use what I use because it's easier for me to teach when I do that. If you're using a different wallet than MetaMask and you're dead set on using a different wallet than MetaMask, you'll need to talk to the person who referred you here if you need help lowering your gas fees. Or you could watch this, maybe do a YouTube search, a YouTube video search, and get it figured out. But because this has nothing to do with Forsage or this smart contract, this has to do with the Ethereum network and lowering gas fees. Gas fees are what the miners charge to do the transactions, just to process everything and get it done. And you're bidding against other people in terms of how fast it goes through. And I'm going to show you how to lower all that. I'm also going to teach you a little bit about this as I do it, because I think it's very valuable. It allows you to understand the Ethereum network. So before I move forward, let me address that, because a lot of you like just frustrated. You just want me to show you really fast. You don't want me to teach you anything, but that's not very valuable. That doesn't help you understand the Ethereum network. It doesn't help you understand how smart contracts work, which is the basis of why Ethereum is going up over the years and why it's going to keep going up. Some people believe way even beyond where Bitcoin is now. They think it's going to beat out Bitcoin, a lot of smart people, because of these smart contracts. Everything can be reprogrammed over the blockchain, totally decentralized using Ethereum and the Ethereum network. But listen carefully right now, because gas fees are really high, those transaction fees on the Ethereum network, most consumers aren't going to do it yet. But everyone's anticipating Ethereum 2.0, a new technology. It's being implemented right now. It's already been created and released. It's being implemented. At the time of my recording here in February of 2021, it's expected that within less than a year, those transaction speeds on the Ethereum network are going to increase by thousands of times. And the cost that's connected, the cost to do transactions, the gas fees will decrease by thousands of times. That's why Ethereum keeps going up over the months and years, and it's going to skyrocket when this becomes so easy to use and so inexpensive and so fast that consumers, the regular folk, will use it. So if you're frustrated by the process that I'm about ready to take you through, you want it to be easier, you got to rethink your stinking thinking, because entrepreneurs have the opportunity to get a lot of Ethereum right now before it goes to the moon, because this isn't easy enough for consumers. But I'm going to make it super easy for you. So here's what you do. You should already be at the point in this process where you see something like this. It's showing the cost of what you're purchasing. It shows the gas fee, right? It might be too small to see this, but that's gas fee. Okay, you're going to hit edit. Stop the video, rewind it if you need to. I hit edit. Now, if you don't mind this, you could choose any of these. Slow means, it's going to show you the price. If I click this and I just hit save, and then I'd have to hit confirm after that, then I'm just choosing that. It's choosing it for me. It's not advanced. We're going to go to advanced in a second. If you know the average, that means average speed, that means slow speed. We don't know how long exactly it's going to take. We can't tell you that. It's the Ethereum network, just how it works. Again, someday, not long from today, it's going to be so fast, no one has to ever do this. But right now we do, and that's the opportunity. That's why we're able to get in front of all these consumers, because we're willing to work through this. And then if you choose fast, you're going to pay a little bit more. It's going to go through faster. We don't know exactly how fast. It just depends how busy the network is and what other people are bidding in a given second. But this is the numbers it's throwing up to try to make it easy on you. If any of these look good to you, choose slow, average, or fast, knowing that if you choose slow, it's going to be a little bit slower. We don't know exactly how much slower. If you choose average, it's going to be like an average speed. We don't really know what that means. And fast, when I've chosen fast, usually goes through right away. When I've chosen average, it usually goes through either right away or pretty quick. If I choose slow, it's taken a few hours, never more. But there's no guarantee of that. Now I'm going to choose advanced and show you how to really control this. So now listen carefully, because if you make a mistake here, you can break it, get charged, and the transaction doesn't go through. Never lower the gas limit. You can lower the gas price, which is often referred to as GWEI, G-W-E-I. I'll just call it gas price. You can lower the gas price. It will just, you're bidding against other people to get your order through. And the highest bidder goes through right away. The lowest bidders, you have to wait for you to come up in the queue, like for a slower period of the Ethereum network over the next few minutes or next hours, or even next days. Sometimes it takes 3 days to go through if you put this too low, for a lower period on the network for it to catch that lower amount you're willing to bid. You can lower gas price. You cannot lower gas limit, because the gas limit's what you're willing to spend for it to process, you know, do the programming that it needs to do the processing it needs to do for the transaction to happen. And, you know, when you're working with a smart contract, that's what it is. It's processing something, it's basically code working over the blockchain, over the Ethereum network. That's what makes it so cool. They can reprogram everything over the decentralized blockchain. Now, all this works automatically, but you got to be, you know, different, more complicated programming will cost more. And there's no way to know beforehand exactly what it's going to cost. Just make sure you never lower this number. And just to be safe, to make sure you're over what it needs, always increase it to at least 500,000. So because this says 192,427, I'm going to increase it to 500,000. Make sure you add enough zeros. Notice I only have 50,000 in there. I've had people make that mistake. They lose some money and they have to do the transaction again. 500,000, make double sure, be present with the process. 500,000 is the minimum that gas limit should be set at. Pay attention to say something really important next. Down here, it's going to show transaction fees, and you're going to notice it increased when I changed that to 500,000. Let me put it down to like 100,000, which you would never want to do. So you can see that that decreased. Transaction fee 0.0074. I'm going to put it back where the minimum it should be. Now you notice that increased to now to 0.037. That's the maximum you're willing to pay. It's not what you're usually going to be charged. In fact, I've never seen myself getting charged this amount. This is saying that's the maximum I'm willing to spend to get this through. And I've had it be consistently, almost always massively lower than that number. So keep that in mind. Okay, remember, this should never be lower than 500,000. And listen carefully. If when you first came in here, it was already over 500,000, like let's say I came here and it was at 510, then I would increase it to 750. I would always increase gas limit. I'd be really careful that I've got enough zeros. If it was already, it's pretty rare, but if it was already really, really high, like at 772,000, I'd put it at 1 million. And I would make sure I have enough zeros. I'd be super, super careful. That is 1 million. I've almost never had to do that. But because when I came in here, and usually often it will be under 500,000, the gas limit, you just raise it to 500,000. It will increase what you're willing to pay down here, but you never actually pay that much anyway. So don't fret that. Now, gas price. Let's talk about this. You never increase it, because there's no reason to do that. That would make it go through faster, but you don't need to. But you could lower it. But just remember, the amount that you lower it really just depends on how busy the network is. So if I came in here and it already said 225 as a recommended number, I would try to put it through somewhere between 85 at the lowest and 125. 125, whoops, not 125, but 125. If I came in here, it was already recommending 125, I'd probably try like somewhere between, if I wanted to really lower it, I probably wouldn't go lower than 45 or 40, you know, and then if I didn't want to wait that long, I might put it at 75. So, you know, you just gotta, you could ask the person who referred you here because we start to kind of get the hang of it. But if you want to maximize how much you can decrease this gas price and still not have to wait days for it to go through, it just depends how busy the Ethereum network is. And you can kind of ask your referrer, what's the recommended, idea. And if you want to just get through it, what did this say when I first came in here? I think it was like 75 or something like that. I would go ahead and put it I would put it at, let's see, 60. So it's going to say gas price extremely low. I've still gotten them through lots of times when it said that, but it could take hours. It could take a day. Just remember, if you do go too low on gas price and it takes like many, many, many hours to go through, you do have a chance later to click a speed up button, and you could add more, come back here, add more, and get it through. So I like to aim a little low, and then you can just wait until it goes through. You can always come back and speed it up. I want mine to go through pretty fast right now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit like 75. What I think that's close to what it was recommending, because I want it to go through now pretty fast. But whatever you decide, then you hit save, and then you hit confirm. Now remember, this gas fee, it says it's really high, $54, much higher than it was recommending. That's because I increased the gas limit. But remember, this is the maximum I'm willing to spend. It's not actually going to charge me that much. I always increase the gas limit significantly. You will need to have enough Ethereum in your account to cover whatever this is. So keep that in mind too. This is the maximum I'm willing to spend. If you need help, speak to your referrer. I'm going to hit confirm. And now it's going to say transaction has been sent. Please wait for confirmation. I'm going to wait a little bit just for it to make sure that went through. Now, once I've waited here like 10 seconds, I do not need to leave the site open. Once I waited here about this long, I can know that it's on the blockchain now. It's all, you could close this site out. You could turn your computer off. Doesn't matter. Where you pay attention now to whether it went through is here. You see where it says pending, and you see the speed up button. So if hours and hours went by, I could click speed up, and I could go back to that advanced setting. You'd see it after you hit speed up. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to speed it up. But if I hit speed up, I could go to advanced settings and I could increase that gas price. But I'm not going to do that because I'm fine with it. If this takes a couple hours, this should go through pretty quick because I was pretty close to what it was recommending. So that's it, guys. Just remember a few key things. First of all, remember, you're an entrepreneur. You're here to make a lot of Ethereum before it goes way up. So you don't want this to be any easier than it already is. Because when it's easier than it already is, and when gas prices are so fast, when gas prices are so cheap, so low, that you don't even notice it because the technology has been implemented that speeds this up, which is coming really soon, the opportunity to make a lot of Ethereum and get in front of the consumer market is over. And so now's the time to work through this and grow a lot of Ethereum with this. And the other thing is, just remember, never lower gas limit. If when you go to advanced settings, you see it lower than 500,000, increase the gas limit to 500,000. If you see it above 500,000, but below 750,000, you could leave it the same if you don't have enough Ethereum in your account to cover the, increasing it, the maximum it charges. But if you do have enough in your account, it's not going to actually charge you more, even though it shows the maximum will. Go ahead and increase it to 750,000. If it's already above 500,000 when you go there. If it's very rare, but if it's already above 750,000 and you've got enough ETH in your account, go ahead and increase it to 1 million. Make sure you have enough zeros. You can increase gas price, never decrease gas limit.